I would like to know what was the most fun during shooting and what was the most challenging for you?
All right, well, I guess I'll go first. I would say the most fun about shooting is getting to be with a lot of people. So we actually have a lot of fun on set, but sometimes that can be the most challenging too, because you have to get a lot of different shots for all of the different people.
I would say the most fun would definitely be any scene where we're outside and we were not confined to the gym. Which goes into the most challenging, where we do like the pilot, we film to like 2 a.m. doing all basketball stuff. So that's the most challenging.
Yeah, most fun. It's cliche, but just working with everybody. Everybody is so kind and so talented and wants everyone to feel safe and happy. And it was such a creative set, and I love that. Hardest was definitely working during COVID. Everyone worked really hard to make it super safe, but it's hard to be having all your mask wearing and staying distant while you're filming. So that was definitely a learning curve.
I'd just like to know, what would you say to people to convince them to watch the show?
Okay, I guess I'll go first.
You go. I don't want to be like attention. Go, Mo.
I would say that Big Shot is a show for all ages. Don't be afraid to have your parents watch, your younger kids watch, your younger siblings to watch. I think that there's something for everyone in this show. It's definitely relatable. It's definitely authentic. And I think each character, any viewer can relate to somebody on our cast.
Yeah.
I'd also say that it's just really entertaining. I mean, the basketball component is very fun. As someone who is not particularly interested in sports, I've gotten a lot more into it now. So I would just say, like, having that and the fact that it's a drama and a comedy, it's got a good little taste of everything, I think.
Absolutely. I will second what has already been said. The show really does have something for everybody. It has heart, it has comedy, it focuses on family, it focuses on friendships. And I love that you'll get to know the characters really well. Each character has their own personal growth, their own storyline to follow, and you'll get to see the evolution of the team, but also the evolution of all the individuals that make up the show. So again, if you love basketball, that's fantastic. You'll love the show. But if it's not for you, there's definitely something for you in the show.
Hi guys. Over here in the UK, we don't seem to take our sports at school or at college anywhere near as seriously as you do. I just wondered if this is a fair kind of snapshot of what it is actually like to be part of a team and play sports at school or college.
I would say, I mean, like I said, I had no experience, and we went into it doing a basketball boot camp for like 2 months before filming. And then during filming that continued. So I would say that getting into that mindset, even not, prior to the show, gave us all an idea. And then once we were filming, it was like, you get an idea of how, when you do play a sport in school and in college, it becomes everything that you're doing. So for sure, I think it's accurate in that sense.
Yeah, I think it's a good snapshot as well. And I think because we were able to play, like how Nell was saying, for a good amount of time and build that relationship and bond with each other, we learned so much more than just on the court skills. Off the court skills are just as important too. But I feel like there's even more to, basketball over here in terms of like the intensity, in terms of, people wanting to get scholarships and stuff like that in order to change their life and try to fulfill their dreams. Like, I feel like it's a lot more intense, but it's definitely a good snapshot that you get in Big Shot.
I totally agree. I have played some sports in high school. I'm not a super competitive person, so I never wanted to play really intense sports, and I don't think I also have the skill for that. But I loved it when you're on a team with your friends, when you're just having fun, when it's about coming together and being part of something bigger than yourself. In that way, I see sports kind of aligning with the arts, which I don't normally see because I am an arts person, but it is about working. It's about working together. that is what I love about it.
Hey guys, I think one of my favorite parts of this whole show is how this group of girls, they're not afraid to stand up. They don't want to take crap from Coach Korn. Like, it was just so fantastic watching it. How much fun is it for each of you playing such empowering, powerful characters?
It's wonderful. I love the show for that reason. And I play Emma, who's Coach Korn's daughter, so I don't actually play basketball on the show, but I feel like with that other family side of things, it's great to be part of portraying this father-daughter relationship that feels really real and flawed and fun, and Emma's really strong, and I appreciate that a lot about her. So yeah, she's really fun to play.
I love playing a really empowering character. I feel like Olive has a lot of moments throughout the series where she's outspoken and she's not afraid to say what she thinks. And she's also a very supportive friend. So I think that the writers do a really good job at not only uplifting and empowering women, but also supporting the rest of the girls that are on the team. And to me, I feel like that represents like where we are at in our current like social media age, I like to say, because we have a lot of empowering and important people that are using their platform and using their voice to speak out on things. And I think that that's a theme that kind of comes up in the show as far as like empowering women and building up women and having them be confident and supportive to others.
Yeah, I would say one of my first scenes was with John, which you'll see in the first episode. And we basically just have this like head to head, like going for it. And it was one of the first scenes we filmed, and also the first time that I had met him. And so that was like getting thrown into who she is, which is just, not caring what anyone else thinks. And that was from the get-go and stayed throughout the season, which I loved. So it was great.
And kind of fun putting John Stamos in his place, huh?
I did and continue to. Thank you very much.
And also adding on to what Monique said about the writers, everybody was so respectful and wanted it to be really real. So a lot of the time they would, come with questions or John would say to us, does this feel real to you? Does this feel right? And that feels great as an actor to have that kind of say in what you're doing and really feel like your voice is heard in the whole process of creating a show. I think that's something that was really unique to our show and something I'm really grateful for.
I have a question for Sophia. John Stamos' character is also learning how to be a father. So since you play his daughter, in your opinion, what makes a good father today, in today's world?
Oh, that's a lovely question. I'm not sure about a father in particular, but just being a good parent has to do with listening, having empathy for your kid, remembering what it was like for you to be that age. I think I love the dynamic in Big Shot between Emma and Marvyn because they kind of switch off who's the one parenting. Emma gives her father advice and he gives her advice. And I think it has a lot to do with respect and listening to each other. And nobody's perfect, so you're just going to be figuring things out together. But I think in the show, it's clear that they really love each other, and that's at the forefront of their relationship. Yeah.
Just following on from that kind of looking for authenticity from each of you, do you have a favorite high school set drama or comedy that you maybe look to for inspiration for this show?
I would say anything like, this isn't a series obviously, but like 16 Candles, but like that whole sort of good old like teenage angst and especially from the main character, I would say that something that I love watching, stuff like that. And that's sort of what I was taking into it to try to keep it grounded and keep it fun and interesting. So gotta love that vibe for sure.
That's a really good question. I feel like maybe that lends to the fact that there's not a lot of shows right now in the way that ours is formatted in terms of, having, the high school and all that goes on with that with girls too. So I feel like right now, you know, we're creating a new shift in terms of this new high school show and what that means and what comes from that. So we have, you know, the empowering, uplifting women aspect, which maybe in a show like Gossip Girls was a little bit different in terms of how they did their show, but I feel like this one has a little bit more, you know, just a little bit authenticity and genuineness with it. And I feel like the writers did a good job at making us grounded.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what makes our show so unique and special. There's a lot of heart in each episode and within each girl.
I completely agree. I think maybe this is a bit of a cop-out answer, but I am still in high school and was doing school full-time remotely while filming this show. So I would go straight from my class on Zoom to set and back again. So I was totally immersed in an actual high school world while also, you know, being part of this on-set high school world. And I think that definitely helped a lot because there's nothing more real than what's real. So I think I mostly tried to ground Emma in some of my own high school experiences and her feeling of trying to find new friends, her feeling of trying to connect with this new place. I don't live in LA, so I had just gone there to work. So there were a lot of parallels between Emma's situation and mine, and I think that's what I looked mostly to.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey